Everything begins with imagination. The world you see is only the shadow cast by your inner state. If you would change the outer, you must first change the inner. Desire is not something outside of you. Desire is a divine whisper, an invitation from the deeper part of your being to become what you already are in potential. To act as if your desire has manifested is to live in the end. It is to occupy the state of the wish fulfilled, not just in mind, but in feeling. You must move beyond mere wishing and step into knowing. Feel it real. Feel it deeply. Let the feeling of the wish fulfilled become so natural, so habitual, that you forget you ever longed for it. Imagination is not idle fancy. It is the creative power through which all things come into being. What you assume to be true, though unseen, becomes the seen. The world will reflect the assumptions you persist in. So if you want to change your life, do not wait for evidence. Assume the new state now. Assume the feeling that would be yours if your desire were already a fact. Walk as though it were done. Speak from the place of already having. Think, act, and feel from that reality. If you seek love, feel love now. If you seek wealth, feel the freedom of abundance now. If you seek healing, dwell in the peace of being whole. You cannot fake the feeling, you must embody it. You must feel it to be true. That feeling is the secret. There is no power outside of your consciousness. Nothing to beg, nothing to chase. Only to assume and feel. The world will rearrange itself to mirror your inner conviction. States of consciousness are the only realities, and you are free to choose the one you occupy. Every time you return to the end, live in the end. You bring yourself closer to its physical outpicturing. So remain faithful to your inner vision regardless of outer facts. Persist in the assumption, even when nothing seems to change. The unseen is more real than the seen. Creation is finished. All possibilities exist now. You need only occupy the state of your desire and dwell there with unwavering faith. The moment you act as if your desire has manifested, you claim it, you shift your identity. And in that shift, the world conforms. Imagination is often dismissed as a fanciful escape, a mere distraction from the so-called realities of life. Yet, the power of imagination is the foundation upon which all creation is built. In the depths of your imagination lies the blueprint for everything you wish to bring into existence. This creative force is not just a mental exercise or idle daydreaming. It is the very tool through which all things visible and invisible come into being. Imagination is not separate from reality. It is the reality that shapes your world. What you desire is not external to you. It is not something that exists out there waiting for you to stumble upon it. The truth is, your desires are already a part of you. They are not distant goals to be achieved. They are expressions of the potential within you. When you feel a desire for something, whether it is love, success, health, or abundance, you are not simply wishing for something that is lacking in your life. You are being called to recognize and bring forth that which already exists within you. This is where imagination plays its crucial role. Desire is the first step, the impulse that stirs within you, the seed that is planted. But desire alone is not enough. It is the imagination that nurtures this seed, allowing it to grow into a fully realized experience. Imagination is the fertile soil where your desires take root. It is where you give shape to your dreams, where you form the images, the feelings, and the sensations that will eventually manifest in your external world. When you engage your imagination, you are not fantasizing in a hollow way. You are connecting with the deeper, unseen part of your being that knows no limitations. The key to transforming your desires into reality lies in understanding that your imagination is the doorway to a parallel world. One that exists beyond the physical realm, yet influences everything that happens within it. This parallel world is not distant or unreachable, it is right here within you. The images, thoughts, and feelings you create in your mind are more than mere fantasies. They are the substance of the world you are about to create. What you envision and feel within your imagination is a prelude to what will eventually appear in the physical world. To understand this, consider the process of constructing a building. Before any bricks are laid, before any physical labor begins, the architect first creates a plan. The plan exists in the mind of the architect before it is ever materialized in the physical world. The building is not constructed by chance or by random actions. It is the result of a clear vision. one that has been mentally created long before the first stone is set in place. Similarly, your desires must first be imagined in your mind's eye. This image or vision is the beginning of its creation. Just as the building cannot be constructed without the plan, your desires cannot come into being without first being imagined. The process is not as much about creating something new as it is about recognizing what is already within you. The life you seek to live, the person you wish to become, the experiences you want to have, all of these are already a part of you. They are simply waiting for you to awaken to them. Your imagination is the tool that allows you to bring them from the realm of possibility into the realm of reality. The power of imagination lies in its ability to bypass the physical senses, which are limited by time and space, and to tap into a higher realm of consciousness. In your imagination, there are no limits. You are not confined by the boundaries of the physical world. You can imagine anything, feel anything, and experience anything. This is not some abstract or unattainable concept. It is a simple truth. Whatever you can imagine, you can create. The act of imagining is a declaration of your creative power. It is a reminder that the external world is not the source of your experience. It is your inner state, your imagination, that shapes and molds your reality. In this context, desire is not something to be sought after as though it were out of reach. Rather, it is an inner knowing, an invitation to align with the truth, that what you seek already exists. Desire is not about lack. It is about recognition. It is an inner signal telling you that the possibility is already available. All you need to do is acknowledge it and begin to embody it. When you consciously engage your imagination, you begin to align yourself with the frequency of the desired outcome. This is the point at which you begin to feel the reality of your desire. It is not enough to think about it or wish for it. You must fully inhabit the feeling of it. This is where many fall short. They may visualize their desires, but they fail to feel them as if they have already manifested. Imagination is not just about creating pictures in the mind. It is about creating a corresponding feeling. The feeling is the key to bringing that imagined world into your physical experience. Consider this: if you imagine yourself as successful, abundant, or healthy, but you do not feel those emotions in your body, the imagination remains only a fleeting thought. It is the feeling of success, abundance, or health that creates the energetic alignment between your inner world and the external reality you seek to create. Feel it as real, feel it as present. As you do so, you begin to shift your internal state, and as you shift your internal state, the world around you will shift in response. Your imagination, therefore, is not a passive process. It is an active, creative force. When you imagine your desires, you are not simply waiting for something to happen. You are stepping into the future you desire and allowing it to come into the present moment. It is through this creative act that the desired outcome begins to unfold in your life. It is also important to understand that your imagination is not limited by the physical world's constraints. The material world operates according to laws of cause and effect, but the world of imagination operates on the principle of assumption and belief. In imagination, anything is possible. You are free to be, do, and have whatever you choose. There is no scarcity in imagination. There are no limitations. Everything you desire exists already within the vast potential of your mind. By simply engaging with it, you bring it into the realm of possibility. The most profound truth about imagination is that it is not just a tool for escaping reality. It is the very means by which you shape that reality. When you engage in the act of imagining, you are planting seeds that will grow into your new experiences. Imagination is not just a daydream. It is the creative act of molding your world from within. So when you desire something, whether it is a new job, a loving relationship, financial freedom, or perfect health, understand that this desire is already a part of you. It is not something you must chase or beg for. It is already yours in potential. Imagination is the bridge that allows you to bring that potential into full expression. When you imagine with feeling, you are aligning your inner world with your outer world. And in doing so, you create the life you truly desire. To live in the end is to understand that your desires are not distant hopes or uncertain outcomes. They are already fulfilled in the realm of your imagination. The end result, the fulfillment of your wish, is not something to wait for. It is something to live as though it is already your present reality. This is where the power of manifestation truly resides. When you cease to live as though the future is separate from you and begin to act as though the end you desire has already arrived. Most people approach their desires as though they are far away, as though the thing they want exists in the future, waiting to be attained. They spend their time wishing for it, working toward it, or hoping that one day it will be theirs. But in doing so, they miss the essential truth. The future is not separate from the present. What you desire already exists, and your task is to live from the state of having it rather than waiting for it to come. The shift in perception is subtle but profound. By living in the end, you stop pursuing your desires and instead begin to embody them. To live in the end is not about pretending or denying the current circumstances of your life. It is about shifting your focus and your consciousness. It is about seeing yourself as already having the thing you seek and allowing that sense of fulfillment to guide your actions, thoughts, and feelings. This does not mean you ignore the present moment or deny what is currently true about your life. Rather, you choose to engage with the present moment from a place of already having what you desire. Living in the end is a shift in identity. It is a recognition that you are not a person in search of something, but rather a person who has already received it. Imagine for a moment that you have already achieved your deepest desire. How would you feel? How would you act? What would your thoughts be? What would your conversation sound like? By stepping into this reality, you begin to align with it and make it your own. You do not need to wait for the circumstances to change first. You change your inner state, and the outer world will follow suit. When you act as if your desire has already been fulfilled, you are not waiting for something to happen. You are acting from the belief that it is already done. This shifts your energy, your confidence, and your sense of self-worth. The energy of having something is very different from the energy of wanting it. When you are in a state of wanting, there is a subtle sense of lack, as if something is missing. But when you live in the end, when you imagine that the desire is already yours, you begin to feel complete. You feel whole. You feel as though everything is already aligned with your desire. Living in the end also means that you trust in the creative process. You are no longer worried about how or when the manifestation will occur. Instead, you focus on the present moment and act as though it is already yours. This act of trust is vital. If you are constantly questioning the timing or the possibility of your desire coming true, you are living in doubt. Doubt is the opposite of living in the end. When you live in the end, you trust that everything is unfolding as it should. You know that the process is already in motion, and you allow the universe to handle the details while you focus on embodying the feeling of fulfillment. Think of this like an actor playing a role in a play or a film. The actor does not wait for the audience's approval to begin performing the role. They fully inhabit the character and act as though they are that character. They feel the emotions of the character, think the thoughts of the character, and move in the way that character would move. Similarly, when you live in the end, you fully inhabit the life that you desire. You are not waiting for the outside world to catch up with you. You are living as though it is already complete. The world will eventually mirror the state you are living from. This concept also ties into the power of your beliefs. The beliefs you hold about yourself and your desires are what shape your reality. If you believe that your desires are possible and that they have already been fulfilled, then your actions will naturally align with that belief. You will act with confidence, take inspired action, and make choices that support the fulfillment of your desires. If, however, you believe that your desires are out of reach, or that they will only come to you in the distant future, then your actions will reflect that belief. You will hesitate, doubt yourself, and perhaps even sabotage your efforts. This is why living in the end is so powerful. It is the act of fully adopting the belief that your desire is already true. By doing so, you align your inner world with the outer world you wish to create. Living in the end also means removing the sense of urgency or desperation. When you act from a place of wanting, you feel as though you must have your desire right now. You are anxious, eager, and often frustrated by delays or setbacks. But when you live in the end, you experience peace. You are no longer attached to the timing or the outcome. You know that what you desire is already yours, and you trust in the natural unfolding of events. This state of relaxed confidence attracts your desires effortlessly, because you are not forcing anything to happen. You are simply allowing it to come to you, in the perfect time and manner. The process of living in the end also requires an unwavering faith in the unseen. Your current circumstances may not yet reflect the reality you wish to create, but this does not mean that your desires are not already on their way. The external world is simply a reflection of your inner state. As you change your inner state to one of already having, you will notice small shifts in your external world. At first, these shifts may seem subtle, but they are the beginning of the manifestation process. Trust in the invisible forces that are at work behind the scenes, shaping your reality according to the belief and feeling you are living from. When you live in the end, you are embodying the truth that the external world follows the inner world. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are the building blocks of your reality. To live in the end is to become the living example of your desire. It is to walk, talk, and think as though what you want is already a part of your experience. By doing so, you create an energetic alignment with that desire, and the world begins to reflect it back to you. The more consistently you live in the end, the more quickly and easily your desires will manifest in your physical reality. Ultimately, living in the end is a reminder that you are not separate from your desires. They are an expression of your true self, and the fulfillment of those desires is already inherent within you. By living as though they have already manifested, you are claiming your power as a creator. You are stepping into the truth of who you are, and in doing so, you allow the world to mirror back the reality you have already chosen. The power of feeling is the most crucial aspect of manifestation. It is not enough to merely think about your desires or visualize them. The key to truly bringing them into reality lies in the emotional connection you create with them. Feelings are the vibrational signals that communicate with the universe, and they are the medium through which the law of attraction operates. Thought alone, without feeling, remains a mere intellectual exercise. But when you connect a thought to a deep, genuine feeling, it becomes a powerful force that can shape your reality. To understand the true role of feeling in manifestation, we must first acknowledge that the world is made of energy. Everything you see, touch, or experience is energy in different forms. Our thoughts and emotions, too, are forms of energy, and they carry vibrations. These vibrations, whether high or low, influence the frequency of your own energy field and, in turn, interact with the universe's energy field. The universe is constantly responding to the frequency of your energy, and it draws experiences, people, and situations into your life that match that frequency. Feeling is the key to setting the frequency of your energy field. When you feel something deeply, you are not just thinking about it in your mind, you are aligning your entire body with that thought. It is no longer just an idea or a wish, it becomes an embodied experience. Think about how you feel when you are excited, joyful, or in love. You radiate a certain energy, a positive, expansive frequency. On the other hand, when you feel fear, doubt, or sadness, your energy contracts, and you send out a lower vibration. It is this energy, this vibration, that the universe responds to. Whatever feeling you consistently embody, whether positive or negative, becomes the frequency that attracts experiences of a similar nature. If you want to manifest abundance, for example, you must feel abundant now. Not just think about being abundant, but feel what it would be like to already have everything you desire. Imagine the joy, the freedom, the sense of security that comes with financial abundance. Allow those feelings to wash over you, and in doing so, you align your energy with abundance itself. The feeling of already having what you desire is a vital component of manifestation. It is what transforms an imagined thought into a physical reality. Feelings have a magnetic quality. They draw into your life the people, circumstances, and opportunities that align with that frequency. So when you feel abundant, for instance, you begin to notice more opportunities for wealth, more ideas for creating income, or even more generous acts from others. This is not coincidence. It is the law of attraction at work, responding to the vibrational energy you are sending out. But feelings are not just a passive force. They are active creators. Your feelings shape your reality in ways that you may not even consciously understand. Every time you feel something, you are sending out a signal to the universe. And it is not just about having positive feelings all the time. It is about being authentic with your emotions and aligning them with your desires. The key is to feel the emotions that you would feel if your desire were already fulfilled. This is the secret. You must feel the joy, the peace, the excitement, the love, or whatever emotion corresponds to your desired outcome. You are not waiting for the outside world to change before you feel those emotions. You are creating those emotions within yourself first. and in doing so, you are changing the world around you. This is where many people struggle. They may understand the concept of thinking positively or imagining their desires, but they fail to make the emotional connection that is required for true manifestation. They may think about abundance, but still feel a deep sense of lack. They may think about love, but still harbor feelings of unworthiness. Without the accompanying feelings of already having what you desire, your thoughts remain disconnected from the vibrational frequency that would bring your desires into reality. This is why it is so important to feel your desires in your body, to allow those emotions to saturate your entire being. Feeling your desires as already fulfilled also shifts your perception of the present moment. When you feel the joy of already having what you want, you are no longer fixated on the lack or the absence of your desires. You shift your focus from the problem to the solution. You stop worrying about how things will unfold or when they will happen. Instead, you experience the peace that comes from knowing that your desire is already a reality. This emotional shift is incredibly powerful because it releases resistance. The more you feel as if your desires are already here, the less resistance you create, and the faster the manifestation process can unfold. Another important aspect of feeling is that it anchors the desire in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the part of you that controls your beliefs, habits, and actions. It is the storehouse of all your past experiences and the blueprint for your future. When you repeatedly feel the emotions associated with your desires, your subconscious mind begins to accept those feelings as reality. It starts to believe that what you desire is not something you need to strive for, but something that is already part of who you are. This shifts your behavior, your choices, and the actions you take, aligning them with the fulfillment of your desire. It is also worth noting that the feelings you generate do not have to be intense or dramatic. You do not need to force yourself to feel something that does not come naturally. The key is consistency. When you consistently cultivate the feelings of your desire, even in small, subtle ways, you are sending out a powerful signal to the universe. Over time, these feelings will build momentum, and the universe will respond accordingly. One of the most transformative aspects of this process is the ability to detach from the need for specific outcomes. When you feel the emotions of already having your desire, you begin to release attachment to how or when it will come. You are not tied to any particular form of manifestation. Instead, you trust that the universe knows the best way to deliver your desire. You focus on the feeling, and the form will follow. It is also important to recognize that feelings are not just confined to emotions like joy, love, or gratitude. They can be a wide range of sensations, from excitement to peace to deep contentment. The key is to connect with the feeling that most closely aligns with the desire you wish to manifest. If you are seeking love, for instance, you might connect with a feeling of warmth and connection. If you are manifesting success, you might feel the pride and confidence that come with achieving a goal. Whatever the desire, the feeling that accompanies it is your signal to the universe that you are aligned with it. In summary, the power of feeling cannot be overstated. Feelings are the language of the universe. They are the energy that propels your desires into reality. Thought without feeling is empty, and feeling without thought lacks direction. When you connect your thoughts with your feelings, you create a magnetic force that pulls your desires toward you. The more you can feel as though your desires have already been fulfilled, the faster and more effortlessly they will manifest. This is not a passive process. It is an active engagement with your emotions, a conscious decision to align your energy with your deepest desires. Faith is the cornerstone of manifestation, and it is through faith that the unseen begins to take form in the physical world. Many people struggle with manifestation because they fail to recognize the importance of unwavering faith in the process. Faith is not simply a passive belief. It is an active trust in the invisible forces that govern the universe. It is the ability to believe in the reality of your desires even when there is no visible evidence to support them. When you have faith, you are aligning with the certainty that your desires are already on their way, regardless of the circumstances you see around you. At the heart of faith lies the understanding that everything in the universe is connected and that nothing happens by chance. The laws of the universe are always at work, even when you cannot see or understand them. Faith requires you to trust in these laws, to trust that everything is unfolding according to a greater plan, and that your desires are already in motion. It is a deep knowing that what you seek is not something outside of you, but something that is already within you, waiting to be manifested into the physical world. To have faith in your desires is to acknowledge that they are already yours in the realm of the unseen. This requires a shift in consciousness from focusing on lack or uncertainty to embracing the idea that everything you need is already within your grasp. Faith is not about waiting for signs, for external circumstances to change, or for the world to conform to your desires. It is about knowing without a shadow of a doubt that your desires are already on their way to you. Faith is the inner knowing that what you want is already in the process of manifesting, and that you are simply awaiting its arrival. Faith operates on the principle that like attracts like. The energy of your thoughts and feelings draws experiences into your life that are in alignment with the frequency you are emitting. When you have faith, you emit the energy of certainty, of knowing that your desires are already a reality. This energy is magnetic. It pulls the circumstances, opportunities, and people into your life that align with your desires. Faith allows you to embody the feeling of already having what you want, and in doing so, you create the vibrational match between your internal world and the external world. The challenge of faith often lies in overcoming doubt and skepticism. Doubt is the opposite of faith. It is the belief that things will not work out, that your desires are too big or too far away to be realized. When doubt creeps in, it weakens your energy and sends out a message of uncertainty to the universe. This is why faith is such a powerful tool. It overcomes doubt and replaces it with trust and confidence. Faith is not blind optimism. It is a deep-rooted belief in the process of creation. It is the understanding that your desires are already on their way, even if you cannot see the evidence yet. One of the most important aspects of faith is its relationship with time. Many people make the mistake of tying their faith to a specific timeline. They believe that their desires will only manifest if they see immediate results or if things happen in a certain time frame. However, true faith is not bound by time. It is the trust that your desires are manifesting in divine timing, according to a plan that is greater than your own understanding. Faith requires you to release the need for control over the timing and allow the universe to deliver your desires in the most perfect and aligned way. When you trust in divine timing, you are able to surrender your attachment to how or when things will unfold. You understand that the universe is always working on your behalf, orchestrating the perfect conditions for your desires to manifest. This doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you trust the process and take inspired action when the opportunities present themselves. Faith is not passive. It is active trust. It is knowing that the right opportunities, people, and circumstances will come into your life at exactly the right moment. Faith also involves a deep sense of patience and persistence. In a world that often values instant gratification, having faith in something that hasn't yet materialized can feel challenging. However, faith requires you to trust in the unseen, to believe in the process even when there is no outward sign of progress. It requires you to keep moving forward with confidence, even in the face of uncertainty. Faith is not about knowing exactly how things will unfold, but about trusting that they will unfold in the most perfect way. It is a commitment to the belief that your desires are already in motion and that every step you take brings you closer to their realization. Patience is an essential companion to faith because the manifestation process often takes time. Even when you are deeply aligned with your desires and living in the end, there may still be external circumstances that need to shift or certain steps that need to be taken before your desires can fully manifest. During this time, it is easy to become discouraged or to doubt whether your desires are truly coming. But faith asks you to trust, to believe in the unseen forces that are working on your behalf, and to remain steadfast in your belief that your desires are already yours. Patience is not about waiting passively. It is about maintaining your trust in the process, regardless of the time it takes. One of the ways to strengthen your faith is by practicing gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool that aligns your energy with the vibration of abundance. When you are grateful for what you already have, you send a signal to the universe that you are open to receiving more. Gratitude amplifies the energy of faith because it shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have. When you express gratitude for your desires as if they have already manifested, You are strengthening your faith in the process. Gratitude allows you to step into the feeling of having, and in doing so, you create the vibrational match that pulls your desires into your life. Another way to cultivate faith is through affirmations and visualizations. Affirmations are positive statements that help reinforce your belief in the manifestation of your desires. When you repeat affirmations that reflect your desired reality, you are programming your subconscious mind to accept those beliefs as true. Visualization works in a similar way, as it allows you to imagine your desires as already fulfilled, creating a strong emotional connection to the outcome. Both affirmations and visualization serve to strengthen your faith by continually reinforcing the belief that your desires are already a part of your reality. Faith is also about understanding the limitless nature of the universe. The universe is abundant and there is no shortage of anything. Your desires are not limited by time, space, or circumstances. Faith requires you to trust that there is always enough for everyone, and that your desires are not only possible but already on their way to you. When you have faith, you let go of the belief that resources are scarce, and you open yourself to the unlimited potential of the universe. The more you cultivate faith, the more it becomes a natural part of your being. Faith is not something you have to force or strive for. It is a state of being that flows effortlessly when you trust in the laws of the universe. It is the deep knowing that your desires are not only possible, but already in motion. When you have faith, you live in a state of certainty, knowing that everything is always working in your favor, even when you cannot yet see the result. Faith is the key that unlocks the door to your desires, and it is through faith that the unseen begins to take form in your life. The final step in the manifestation process is to let go of attachment to the outcome. This might seem counterintuitive, especially after you put so much effort into focusing on your desires and aligning your energy with them. However, detachment is essential to the manifestation process, as it allows you to create the space necessary for your desires to flow into your life. Attachment to the outcome, especially when paired with impatience or doubt, can create resistance and slow down the process. When you can release your grip on the how and when, you open the door for the universe to bring your desires to you in ways you may not even expect. This is where true trust in the process comes in. Detachment does not mean that you no longer care about your desires, or that you stop putting in effort to manifest them. Instead, it means that you are no longer emotionally dependent on the specific outcome or the timeline in which it arrives. This emotional release allows you to remain open to the myriad ways in which your desires can manifest without restricting them to one particular form. Often, when we cling too tightly to a specific outcome, we inadvertently close ourselves off from the many possibilities that could be better suited to our growth, happiness, and fulfillment. Detachment invites flexibility and trust into the process. One of the most significant obstacles to manifestation is the belief that you must control every aspect of how things unfold. When you try to force a specific outcome, you limit your potential and create resistance in the process. It's important to remember that the universe has its own timing, which is always for your highest good. By letting go of attachment, you release the need to micromanage the details of your manifestation. This is where faith becomes a powerful ally. Faith allows you to trust that your desires are already on their way, even when the path to their fulfillment is not immediately clear. Letting go of attachment means surrendering to the greater intelligence of the universe and allowing things to unfold in the most perfect and divine way. At its core, attachment is rooted in fear and a lack of trust. When we are overly attached to the outcome, we are often afraid that our desires will not come to fruition or that we are not worthy of receiving them. This fear creates an energetic block that prevents the smooth flow of manifestation. By practicing detachment, you dissolve the fear that your desires are unattainable, and you allow yourself to relax into the certainty that the universe is always working in your favor. Detachment is an act of self-love, as it allows you to release the anxiety, stress, and frustration that can come with holding on too tightly to the outcome. This is where the art of surrender comes into play. Surrendering does not mean giving up on your desires or resigning yourself to the belief that they will never manifest. It means releasing your resistance to how or when they will come. Surrender is a form of trust. It is the understanding that the universe is always conspiring in your favor, and that your desires are already in the process of being delivered to you. It is about letting go of your need for control and being open to the flow of life. Surrender is a way of acknowledging that the universe's timing and methods are often far more elegant and precise than anything you could have orchestrated on your own. When you practice detachment, you begin to experience a sense of peace and freedom. You let go of the pressure to make things happen, and instead you allow them to unfold naturally. This freedom is incredibly powerful because it removes the burden of expectation and doubt. You no longer feel as if you need to force things into place, and instead you can trust that everything is happening at the right time and in the right way. This sense of trust allows you to relax into the process and enjoy the journey rather than being consumed by worry or impatience. Another aspect of detachment is learning to enjoy the present moment. So often we become fixated on the future and the things we want to manifest that we forget to appreciate what we have in the here and now. Detachment involves fully embracing the present moment, knowing that the desire you seek is already on its way to you. By focusing on the present and finding joy in what is, you increase your vibration and become a magnet for more of what you want. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools to help with detachment. When you express gratitude for what you already have, you release any sense of lack and open yourself up to receiving even more. Gratitude shifts your focus away from what is missing and directs it toward what is already present in your life. Detachment also encourages you to stop overthinking and obsessing over the details of your desires. When you are too focused on the how or when of your manifestation, you are often creating mental clutter and adding unnecessary pressure. The more you think about the specifics, the more likely you are to create doubt, frustration, or fear about the outcome. When you detach from the outcome, you stop trying to figure everything out and instead trust that the universe knows the best path forward. This relief from mental strain is incredibly freeing. It allows you to focus your energy on what truly matters. Living in alignment with your desires, maintaining a positive attitude, and taking inspired action when the time comes. Letting go of attachment also helps to shift your perspective. Often, when we are attached to the outcome, we focus solely on what we lack or what we still need to achieve. We become fixated on the gap between where we are and where we want to be. Detachment allows you to see the bigger picture. It helps you realize that your desires are just one part of the vast, interconnected web of life. By letting go of attachment, you step into a more expansive mindset, one that is not limited by the constraints of your immediate circumstances. This shift in perspective is essential for growth and for attracting what you desire. Another way to detach is by embracing the idea that your desires may take different forms than you expect. The universe often delivers our desires in ways that we could never predict. By clinging to a specific outcome or a rigid expectation of how things should look, you might be closing yourself off from a more perfect version of your desires. Detachment invites flexibility and encourages you to remain open to the many different ways your desires can manifest. This openness creates the space for miracles and unexpected opportunities to flow into your life. Letting go of attachment also means releasing any past attachments to failure or disappointment. If you have experienced setbacks or delays in the past, it's easy to let these experiences shape your beliefs about the future. However, detachment is the practice of releasing all negative associations with past experiences and trusting that what is meant for you will come in the right time. When you let go of these past attachments, you open yourself up to fresh possibilities, free from the weight of past disappointment. To sum up, detachment is one of the most powerful aspects of manifestation. It allows you to trust in the process, release resistance, and create the space necessary for your desires to unfold. By letting go of attachment, you surrender to the flow of the universe and allow your desires to manifest in their most perfect and aligned form. This doesn't mean that you stop caring about your desires or stop taking inspired action. It simply means that you trust in the timing and delivery of your desires without the need to control the outcome. Detachment is the ultimate form of trust, and it is the key to allowing your desires to flow effortlessly into your life.